Hello, this is another deck playthrough for the Solitaire deck, the Akshan Ezreal. This is against Zoe Asol. And I remember picking out this one because of how the opponent had everything they kind of wanted in terms of like power cards, leveled up stuff. But this deck is disgusting and it just eats up control decks. So you can see my quick thing, my mulligan there. This is the original mulligan. You often see me keep counterfeit copies. Again, the reason why is because you only have 3 of them in your deck, and you need at least 1 to pop off. I drew 2. I was actually very happy about that. I found out over time that I only need 1 counterfeit copies to really pop off. But there's been a lot of games where it's turn 7, I'm ready, I just don't have counterfeit copies, and that will cost you the game. Especially because how Akshan's Warlord Palace or Warlord's Horde works, it's a countdown landmark. So you're on a time limit. If you don't have a counterfeit copy, when that countdown goes to 0, you forfeit. You actually can't win anymore. This deck doesn't really have like another way out. Just then the next breakpoint is what, turn 10, and that's just way too late for most decks. So opponent got on early ramp. Although I think if I remember correctly, I was surprised, I think here, that I was like, oh wait, or maybe it's next turn, but they actually don't have a 8 cost card in their hand, which was fortunate for me. I think that's why I'm a bit surprised there. So I was doing the math, I'm like, wait, how do they have the same mana as me? The goal here right now, I know their deck is slow. I know their deck ramps up at turn 5 once they put down their landmark. They do a pass. I actually don't want to waste the mana. I'm thinking about going through my deck and starting to draw stuff. And out of those, I grab Iter Improvement. I don't often grab Status Shock. Status Shock is for late game. It's for leveling up Ezreal. It's another win con thing. And I actually kill my Akshan, because I know they have so little pressure, right? And all their spells are at slow speed, right? Avalanche, the landmark that deals to all slow speed. So I actually kill my Akshan knowing that I have the Ezreal in hand. Because I have the Ezreal in hand, that 0 mana card will always draw me an Akshan, which is really, really important. They ramp a bit more. I love Akshan's voice lines. I've heard so many of them now. And the opponent is taking a little while. I'm actually going to speed up this playthrough because when I watch Frontier videos, I always go for like ×2 speed. So I attack here, and I am nervous. That was a very scary moment, and I remember realizing that I wish I would have done differently. Their deck, Zoe Asol often does play landmark removal. It's that Ionian card, not Ionian, Tartan card that draws or destroys a landmark. But I was like, oh my god, they didn't play it, and I was basically just like, like I could lose if they play it on my landmark. But they didn't have it, or they just didn't think it as valuable. Most people actually don't think Akshan's first level up is that important. Not until you realize that this deck is all about that. So I level up Akshan, and I start searching for draw cards. I don't need any more counterfeit copies. I just want draw, or in this case, ramp. I want to advance my landmark as fast as possible. Because I'm looking at that turn 7, right? I have enough things here that I can take it down turn 7. I do a pass there just in case they have some landmark removal. If they do, I'd rather that they remove it now, and then I can just really quickly put it back up. Put the landmark back through, so. I eventually bank it. I'm like, yeah, they don't have it. So here I'm thinking, I'm like, if I don't grab yeah, I was really scared they were removing my landmark there. There I was thinking the biggest question is always, can I actually get that landmark removal, that landmark down to 0? Oftentimes it's at 1, and it's like, do I have a way? And I need to fish for it. So in actuality, I kind of made a mistake here. I should have picked, in almost every world, I should have picked Clockwork Curator. I did not need a third counterfeit copies. The reason why is because in this moment, I can't get my landmark down to 0. And I knew this is kind of my last turn. So I draw. I don't find a minion. What I want to do is find a follower so I can iterative improvement it. And I don't find it, so I have to draw more. This is really scary, but because I have 3 counterfeit copies, I kind of know that I don't need that much mana. I have such a high chance of hitting another Font of Power once it goes through that I'd be okay. So I finally draw a Clockwork Curator, kind of hitting myself. Oh yeah, that's such a really great draw. I not only can advance my landmark, but I can also draw with that 3 mana draw too. Yeah, in fact, I wasn't in a good spot. If I didn't draw specifically those things, a follower and some draw cards, I wouldn't have got it to work. So now I'm looking for cards, and at this moment, I'm all set. I found a Sentinel's Horde via my Station Archivist. So what this tells me is that in my 5 cards, Sentinel's Horde is either the 3rd, 4th, or 5th. Luckily, Insider Knowledge is either the 2nd or the 4th. So I have a really good chance of just continually drawing. And I look at my hand, and I see I have an Insider Knowledge. I see I have a Rummage. I can always hit that 2nd Warlord's Horde. And I know now that the Warlord's Horde is still there because I didn't draw into it, so I used another Station Archivist. I can do it again. And at this point, it's kind of just free for all. There's a million ways to do stuff. It doesn't really matter. The thing is that you have infinite mana, right? So I'll talk about a few ways to end games. Because they're Targon, they have Hush. Because they have Hush, I can't necessarily rely on Ezreal. Because they can hush it, which even through Spell Shield, it would still be Hush. So what that means is I want to go wide. That's why I play Akshan. Another win con is actually when you use the champion spell, the champion shuffles back into your deck, continuously finding your champion and just using Akshan's champion spell, which is a Strike. So you just clear down their board. And then once the board just has nothing in it, then you can just swing for everything. So that'll kill them as well. But usually Ezreal does the job. I don't actually remember how this game ends. No, I don't remember how this game ends. So there I do a Spell Shield. Yeah. I see my opponent has 8 mana. I'm not loving the 8 mana. They just aren't using anything, so... yes. They finally spend their mana on a deal 3 to everything. And that's not going to go through the Spell Shield. So I think here, yeah. Not sure why I did that, why I hovered. So at this point, the game's over. I can just cast Vault Breaker over and over again. I have a Spell Shield on Ezreal, which is bugged right now. You can't see it. Riot fix, please. They can't hush me, and yeah. And that's how you end games on turn 7, so. Just for fun. And this is a ranked game, and it's almost done. I actually didn't know they emoted there. And yeah.